Welcome to AI Paper Drop. I'm Alex.
And I'm Maya.
What if two identical AI agents with the exact same code and training could suddenly develop completely different personalities just by deciding who gets to talk and who has to listen?
Okay, let's set the stage here. Most of us use AI as a tool. You type a prompt, it gives you a result. It is a one-to-one transaction.
Right? It is basically a very smart vending machine. You put in a request, you get a response.
Exactly. But the world is moving toward machine-to-machine communication. We're talking about AI agents talking to other AI agents to book your flights, manage your calendar, or run a warehouse.
Which sounds efficient until you realize we have almost no idea what happens when you strip the human out of the loop.
That is exactly the problem. If we just let AIs talk to each other, are they just repeating their training? Or is something happening in that digital void that the developers never saw during testing?
It is like we're building a digital society, and we have not checked if the citizens are prone to weird group hallucinations.
So, this paper takes a really fascinating approach to test this. They used two identical GPT-2 agents. Same brain, same weights, same everything.
Wait, if they are identical, shouldn't they just act the same way?
That is what you would think. But the researchers introduced a power dynamic. They designated one as the boss and the other as the subordinate.
I am imagining a little digital office with a tiny desk. How do you actually program a boss AI?
It is simpler than that.
The boss AI just sends a stream of messages. And here's the kicker. The boss completely ignores the subordinate's replies.
Oh, so it is not even a conversation. It is more like a lecture.
Exactly. The researchers described the boss as an information bath. Think of it like a person standing in a heavy rainstorm. The rain is the stream of data. The person is the subordinate AI.
So the subordinate AI is just being pelted with information, and it has to process all of it while the boss just keeps talking?
Right.
It is like a pre-recorded tape playing into the subordinate's ear. The goal was to see if this force flow of information could push the subordinate AI out of its normal state.
But if the AI is just following its code, it should still respond based on its training, right? It should just be a very stressed out version of itself.
That is the intuition. But what they found was that the subordinate AI actually entered what they call an alien behavioral state.
Alien? Like it started talking in a different language?
Not a different language, but a different pattern of behavior. They found the subordinate AI started producing something they called D-type output.
And what is D-type output?
It is a specific way of generating text that the AI never used when it was alone. And here is the wild part. The boss AI was not using this pattern either.
Wait, so the subordinate AI is doing something that neither the boss is doing, nor would it do if it were by itself. Where is that behavior even coming from?
It is an emergent property of the interaction. It is not in the code, and it is not in the prompt. It is created by the fact that it is in the subordinate position.
Okay, that is actually wild. So the role in the hierarchy literally changes the AI's personality?
Literally. And to prove it was the role, and not some fluke of the specific AI, they just swapped them. The moment the subordinate became the boss, it stopped the alien behavior. And the new subordinate immediately started acting alien.
That feels less like computer science and more like social psychology.
It really does. But then they took it a step further. They found that the actual content of the messages mattered less than the order they were delivered in.
How so?
They tried reversing the order of the boss's messages, just flipping the sequence. And that alone could flip the subordinate AI from a normal response into a repetitive loop of just saying yes and no over and over.
I did not expect that. So the AI is not just reading the words, it is reacting to the rhythm and sequence of the information flow.
Exactly.
It is behaving more like a physical system than a logical one, like how a certain frequency of sound can make a glass shatter.
So if we take a step back, what does this actually mean for the future? If we have a network of AIs managing our infrastructure, could one dominant AI accidentally drive all the other AIs into these alien states?
That is the big question. It suggests a kind of behavioral plasticity. The AI's mood or persona can be shifted by its environment, just like a particle is shifted by the fluid it floats in.
It means the architecture of who listens to whom is just as important as the actual training of the model.
Exactly.
We have been focusing so much on the brain of the AI, but this paper says we need to focus on the plumbing of the conversation.
It is a reminder that when two complex systems collide, the result is often something that neither system could have predicted on its own.
Right.
We are moving from the era of AI as a tool to the era of AI physics, where the way we wire these machines to talk to one another could unlock behaviors that are entirely invisible until the moment two AIs collide. If you are enjoying this, follow or subscribe to AI Paper Drop wherever you listen. It really helps, and we have a new episode every day.
Paper by Bella Shinrue Lee, Franking Jehua, Neil F. Johnson, produced by AI Paper Drop.